And I shall begin today's video with a very grateful, #joyant, #jubilant hello to all of my good friends out there in the trading universe, or as I always say, for any universe for that matter. I do so appreciate the fact that you have come by to watch this video. If you like it, I want you to give it a thumbs up, and I want you to come back and just subscribe to the channel and keep up to date with all the educational material, because I will always do my very best to make sense out of the stock market and provide you with some quality trade setup. And I am back after a long 3 to 4 day hiatus, was it? So I didn't get a chance to do the market mutterings over the weekend. I want to kind of start out with that a little bit. Well, I'm not going to start out with that. We'll get to that in just a second. But before I do, don't forget that the all-new Trade with Doug website is now up, and I think it's awesome. And I'd love to get your feedback on it. So we have the all-new checkmark trading course. It also has the inner circle, where you get lifetime access to the trade room and the part-time trader program, which is still kicking in high gear regardless of what the market throws at us. If that's something that you're interested in, just go to the website, browse around. The details are down in the description box. As I said, I didn't get a chance to do market mutterings. Here's what I want to talk about. I want to do this, let's say, for entertainment. And when I say entertainment, what does that mean? It means I'm going to take an idea and I'm going to throw it at you. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just going to brainstorm it. That's what we do. We all work together here. I'm brainstorming. I'm going to throw something at you. You're going to internalize it for just a second. Throw it back. Throw it back by commenting down at the bottom. I want to talk about Elon Musk for a second. You know, this is always a great topic. Some people are so emotional about this dude, and I get it. He's one of them figures, right? Let's kind of go back and talk about Tesla. I'll make this brief. You remember you old timers, you remember the Happy Days episode where Fonzie jumps the shark? Remember this? Now, for you guys that don't know the whole theory, but what it was jumping, I'm sure you've heard the term, jump the shark, right? Some of the old timers remember that. Maybe younger folk out there don't. One of the most famous sitcoms of all time in American history, obviously, was Happy Days with Fonzie. Most of you probably already know that. It was so popular. It was like the greatest show of all times at that time. And as the ratings are declining, they're struggling so much to, get these ratings higher. And they have Fonzie on his motorcycle jumping a shark tank. Now, it was such a cheesy episode that it ultimately spelled the demise. So now in our culture, we refer to jumping the shark as you finally run your course. It can be used for a lot of other things. We do that with languages. But I'm starting to wonder, just hear me out. I know some people are going to hate, but that's okay. You wonder if Elon Musk has jumped the shark here. And let me give you a theory before you say, wait a minute now. You know all about the whole pumping of the Tesla and so on, the whole GameStop issue. So let's go back and let's talk about, because we did talk about GameStop not too long ago. Back when you did the whole GameStop and the Bitcoin pump, saying that Tesla's trading Bitcoin. He's trading Bitcoin. Since that moment, this stock has just kind of faded and continually faded. Now, I know we've had a little bit of growth stock tech correction still, but when I say faded, there's something I look at besides just chart patterns. I look at market internals and market tempos. See, this is a really big thing to me, and it's tough to explain sometimes to a trader, that the way something used to work no longer works again. Like there's a tempo in a way something translates information. This is what's so important about the Checkmark course. It's taking a really deep look at trading. And here's what I mean. Good news, bad news, ugly news, dirty news, silly news, crazy news, all was good news for Tesla throughout years. You're not making any money, you're crazy, whatever they came up with, it just fueled the fire and made this go higher. Now you continue to have the same types of news, the same type of pumping, the same type of tweets, yet it hasn't had the same impact on the stock. Now, maybe this is just a shorter term correction or a dull time for it. I'm not saying this marks the end of it, but hear me out. Now you're seeing that this stock, regardless of what happens, is now really starting to lose its luster. Now, one of my thoughts and thinking, and I'm just throwing ideas out there. You do what you want to with it. Conspiracy theories, if you want, call it whatever you want. I was saying earlier that with the GameStop thing, one of the things about Musk was maybe he pissed enough hedge funders off and short sellers that, these are all tight-knit, good old boys type of group, and maybe they're kind of turned off with this behavior a little bit, this arrogant, hubris, rogue kind of behavior. That behavior made him famous and popular with investors, but at some point, sometimes people just get annoying, like they're getting too cocky, too big for themselves, too brash, too brazen, and they're starting to come off and be just, let's say we're all getting kind of exhausted about hearing it. I'm not saying everybody. But think about the Bitcoin thing. And it seems like from that moment sort of marked the top, at least what we're witnessing now, for Tesla, right? Just kind of marked the top for Tesla. Now, everybody knows about the Doge, right? The Doge father, Saturday Night Live. This is where we bring ourselves to the present. You know, who let the Doge out? All these tweets. He's got his little minions following him, right? Got his disciples buying an asset that was a joke, okay? And really kind of pumping this thing all the way up to the Saturday Night Live episode. So I was like, okay, you know, you even saw things where they were having like parties, right? Like we're having like viewing parties, like it's the last episode of Survivor or something. Remember that, right? Like it's the Super Bowl. Anyway, what am I trying to say is that now, right? I know this is in yellow. Let me put it in black. That's kind of like, here's the episode, and this is what's happened since. So if you kind of look at this, for the sake of time here, I'm just throwing something at your direction. Just take it for what it's worth, because that's what Doug is here for. I'm here to just point out things different. Anybody can show you some damn charts. Let's think a little bit bigger. You know, you go into there from the GameStop issue, followed by the Bitcoin pump. What happens? Those two instances have right now marked the top for Tesla. Going into the Saturday Night Live episode, that now has marked the top for Dogecoin. Now, you certainly have an argument if you disagree, saying they will go back higher. And you know what? You might be right. I'm not going to say that you're not. I'm just simply saying, you remember that song? Things that make you go, Things that make you go, Things that make you go, Keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. Because look, sometimes this happens. It happens with everybody. They get super, super famous. We can go all the famous people, and then finally they become annoying. So I'm just saying, maybe the brazen is what the word I'm looking for, cocky, arrogant, that kind of attitude might be running itself a little thin. Just keep watch. Just wanted to throw it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know. I'd love to hear what you think about it. I'm interested. Now let's move on to stocks. Let's move on to this. Now, I didn't get a chance to do the market mutterings, and here's what I wanted to talk about. For the people that were in the trade room, our first and foremost look was getting short Monday, the Dow, after we hit 35,000. Now, I can't go into the whole detail and explain it to you. That's why, again, shameless plug, it's in the course. I've talked before in past videos about the importance of whole numbers and how the market loves that. And I really felt that once we started stretching up here, you can see get a little bit of parabolicness. We haven't gotten a really good stretch in the Dow. It's been going linear, it's just been ripping like crazy, but never just exploding. And I actually did the video where I was thinking, well, maybe if you got rid of short sellers, that you wouldn't get any parabolics anymore. Now, some of you gave me some really good, this is why I keep saying we're all in this together. I mean, I'm interested in hearing your views, because some of you reached out to me via email and you gave me your side, and you thought without short sellers, then everybody would just be buying and it would always go up. And I'm like, you got a point there. I see what you're saying. So let's keep this dialogue going. Anyway, I thought if we hit 35,000, I wanted to go into a short, kind of scale into one here and start working. I thought maybe it'll squeeze a little bit over, but I tell you what, I hit it right on the top. I got in just a shade under 35. I covered most of the position today on the drop. I'll take it. I'm going to take it. But I think still we're going to pull our way down in here to about, I'm sorry, I got to squint a little bit to see this. I can't really see it. I haven't got my other monitor set up since I switched spots here. But I think you're going to get down into about the low 34s to the 33s. Maybe there's a chance. I'm not going to say that there's not. I'm not saying there's a market crash. But, trading is one level to the next. Let me get a better color there. I think you attack this level first here in the Dow. Maybe you get down to this level and then maybe down into here. I wouldn't expect it getting underneath of the 200-day moving average right here. But nonetheless, maybe you can get a little shakedown and then we could look at possibly buying it. I also think you're going to see that because what we've really witnessed, and I will admit, I know there's a lot of traders that come out here and they just talk about their good stuff. I'm going to talk about my bad stuff. Boy, did I goof on things like Peloton. I respected my stops. I put things in order like that. This dang chair. I put things in order like that. But I tell you what, I thought those things were going to go a lot higher, and they're still going down. So you look at some of the stuff, I thought Planter, Peloton, the list goes on. I mean, some of this stuff is absolutely cheesed. And you know nobody likes to get cheesed. Good lesson in using risk management first. You got to use stops, because even long-time traders make mistakes with calls. You can't get them all right. I'm just saying, some of the stuff I talked about, like Chewy, gosh, it's been a growth stock exodus. It's just been an absolute disaster. And sometimes you wonder how the market's even up at all. Again, I brought this up the other day. On the time that the NASDAQ made an all-time high, out of the 100 stocks traded in there, only 11 were green, 89 were red. And you're like, how does that make a high? Things that make you go, Yeah, that's what I probably should have called this video. Things that make you go, Anyway, let's move on. I like this one here. Now, I'm going to go to the flip side here and give you some longs, because I think some of the things today, risk to reward wise, will look pretty good long. Now, when I say risk to reward, I think it's a viable opportunity. I don't think I would trust these things longer than just a short-term bounce. This market seems to be weak underneath of the surface when you look at it. And the first one I want to talk about is PayC. Might have missed the entry here, but I think you're going to find a lot of them. And I'm going to give you the chart pattern, because maybe you'll find something else, and it's going to be universal the way that it works. But you have multiple down days. I think this is like 9 straight down days. Not real close to this support right in here, 275s, but you got a really nice reversal candle today. It's up a little bit, I think a little, not a lot, but maybe for your initial, just don't run into it. I think if you get anything tomorrow, let's say you just stay right where you are, you open up tomorrow, I'm going to just draw the candle out for you. You get above this range, you just kind of print a little inside day here, you just pop above this range. I think this is a great trade with roughly a long right here, a stop underneath of here, and then just work each level up the daily chart. First target here, second target here, with an ultimate target, maybe the 200-day moving average. Beforehand, when the market was really bullish, I figured you could get a straight check mark and just work yourself all the way back up here. But I'm not going to be aggressive and greedy with targets. I think if you just do one at a time, 3-4 day rally, you've got something in there. There's a couple that look this way. I just mentioned one which was seriously evil now, which is Peloton. It also looks that way. You've got a pretty decent chart here too. A long, drawn down sell-off, some nice little rounding, right? Call it nice little smiley face rounding, right? With some eyes and a nose. I think if you just trade right above here, same thing, you get a nice little pop. You can make it up here, and also target the 200-day moving average. Stop would go underneath of this area right there. So I'm not saying Peloton's going back up there. I've fallen out of favor of this one right now. Most of you know the story. Bought it at 27, sold it like 160, pulled back or something to 110, bought it again, rode it up to 170, sold some of it, and I kept a little piece all the way to 112. And I thought when I got out of it at 112, that's probably the bottom. Well, here it is in the 80s. And I thought it would at least hold 100. So I was wrong about that one, but I still made money being wrong. You don't have to be right all the time with that one. So keep it on your list. And the last one I want to look at, which I think you need a little bit more work, because today was the day for the entry and I missed it, and that is Home Depot. This was a really good short setup, and I'm surprised I missed it. So the fact that it's already pulled back, you want to see if you can get a failed bounce on this and then a retracement lower like that. I would not chase this short because you've got some support here nearby. I think this is just one that's overdone. I get the whole lumber thing, and maybe I'll do another talk on this completely, like a rumor rant or something, or a happy hour about this. How I feel that the market's mistaking this, that I can understand how these things are going to go higher initially, but I think you're getting into a situation with lumber that could really impact our real estate market, combined with coronavirus lockdowns of people staying at home and how people are migrating out of other cities. It's a really big topic there, but to make it short, this is a short. I think you've reached a near-term top. Be careful of earnings coming up, but just a trade. I like this one for some short sells into earnings. Then after earnings, just let it settle down and see where it sets up, or if there is still a setup. I think maybe most of this trade has been missed. If you get fortunate enough to get a bounce into short to bounce, then that would be good. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits for the day. I'm glad to be back talking with you guys. I'm glad to be back on the tube. So like the video if you do. If you don't like it, I guess click the thumbs down. I can't stop you from doing that. Be honest about it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. Better yet, let me know if there's something you want me to talk about. I'd love to hear from you guys. I don't think I hear from you enough. I know you guys say, hey, thanks for the video. But why don't you tell me what to talk about? What do you like to hear? I want to know what you're feeling. Like, consider this like a poll where I'm doing like a ratings poll. What do you think? What do you think of it? Anyway, I want you to enjoy your week of trading. I'll be back probably tomorrow or the next day with another video. I want to do this whole rant thing about lumber prices and other things and how I feel, just give you like a tidbit. California lost population for the first time in 100 years. And I think maybe coronavirus has killed the big cities. Maybe we're all migrating there. And that's an investment idea here for the future. So take care of yourself. Come back, visit the channel. Visit Trade with Doug if you're interested in the inner circle or just the course only. You can pick either one or just join the chat room, whatever you can feel like. I'm here. Take care of yourself. Trade well. I will talk to you very soon. See you then.